Yossi Vardi is probably the most international Israeli there is.
Yossi Vardi started his career as a young boy on the streets of Tel Aviv.
I was a nerd, like what they call today. When all my friends were chasing football and girls, I was chasing electronic tubes and books.
Well, immediately upon graduation from university, that nerd joined forces with 2 friends and 4 professors to start one of Israel's first software startup companies.
And this was my entry into entrepreneurship and high-tech.
But then, just as the future seemed so clear, came a twist in the plot.
I was offered to run the Ministry of Natural Resources. I simply couldn't bring myself to say no.
At the age of 27, Vardi became the Director General of the Ministry of Natural Resources.
I felt that I'm doing something very meaningful. This was 22 years after the country was created. It was just the formative years. And when I was asked what I'm doing, I said, I'm the donkey on which the Messiah is riding. Really this was, I know it now may sound corny, but this was my feeling, that I'm serving something which is much bigger than me.
During his 12 years in the public sector, Vardi was involved in developing and creating the companies which came to be the building blocks of Israeli industry. When the historic peace agreement with Egypt took form, Vardi participated.
I was in charge of the oil part of the negotiation, and these were things which really had a major impact. And then in '79, I decided that this is enough, and I went back into entrepreneurship.
For over 50 years, Vardi co-founded, led, funded, and helped build close to 100 high-tech, energy, natural resources, and clean tech companies.
And don't be too impressed, because at least 30 of them went nowhere and failed.
Among those which didn't fail, many went public.
I think I'm a curious person, and I'm kind of non-discriminatory. It can be technology, it can be archaeology, it can be biology. And I started to create a conference for Israeli talented and creative young people, and I became very passionate about it.
That fueled the DLD Global Conference Network for the exchange of future visions, Vardi's joint venture with the Burda Digital Media Group.
Last year I was chairing or helping to create about over 40 events internationally, and I use these events always to expose the Israeli high-tech scene to the world.
In his spare time, Vardi has co-founded an NGO which helps ultra-Orthodox people join the high-tech sector, supports K-12 peripheral education and schools for refugees, and with his wife Talma, promotes a broad assortment of social justice causes.
What are your plans for the future?
My plans for the future, how we say in Israel, the future stayed the same, only the past is being changed.